Jerry Mallory here for SB Nation and PrideDetroit.com. The Lions in a heartbreaker lose to the Tennessee Titans in overtime, 44-41. We're not going to go with the regular format. We won't be giving you players of the game, no cutscenes. It's going to be me talking for a few minutes, my reactions about the game. Obviously, if you're not a fan of the Detroit Lions, this is one of the more entertaining games you're ever going to see. I have to admit, when Titus Young caught that Hail Mary pass, me and my friends went absolutely wild. It's one of those moments that you won't get very often as a fan of the NFL. It's just so heartbreaking that we cannot pull off the victory. But it's time to put an end to this one. We're approaching the midweek. We should be focusing on the Minnesota Vikings very soon. So I'll give you my final thoughts, and we'll all move on together in what was, as I mentioned before, a heartbreaker in Nashville, Tennessee. So the game happened. We all knew that this wasn't a gimme, but many of us expected the Lions to win. They did not. Not only did they not win, our franchise quarterback, the injury bug is creeping up again. Lower leg injury. They're kind of being, secretive as to actually what's wrong with him. Maybe it's a calf. Maybe it's an ankle. We know it's something bad. We don't know if he's going to play. We have to check the injury report and see how he's practicing. So we lose the game and we lose a key figure on our offense. And when Shaun Hill came out there, especially for that Hail Mary, I'm thinking to myself, man, we could use the strong arm of Matt Stafford. But it was not to be. He wasn't out there, and Shaun Hill did a very adequate job. Special teams wreaking its ugly head once again. We thought we had this situation taken care of, but we don't. We get fooled all too easily for trick plays in general, especially on special teams. They get 2 touchdowns in that area, and then they get a defensive touchdown because of, and I'm putting this lightly, a guy who's not my favorite line, Brandon Pettigrew. A good buddy of mine has said this numerous times, and I believe it's true. If he stays on this team for many years to come, and he just met, Brandon Pettigrew is going to cost the Detroit Lions a playoff game, a NFC championship game, a Super Bowl. He's someone that's able to get open with the coverages Calvin gets, and when we give him the ball, when he catches it, he's very good running with it. But his weak hands, his drop balls, and as we can see, his poor hands goes not only into catching the ball, but even not having as much hand strength because he got the ball taken away from him from the defender in the last game. It's a big issue, no matter how good he is at everything else. The fact of the matter is this: he was a first-round pick. He will be a free agent very soon, and we have so many responsibilities and obligations to fulfill. His days in Detroit may be numbered. His drop balls, and everyone does it occasionally, but Brandon Pettigrew's drop balls are egregious. They're no excuse. I interviewed him, in fact, last year, and his reason or his excuse was, I dropped 7 or 8 balls, but I caught 70 plus. I caught 75 plus. No excuse. His weak hands, I'm through with it personally. Forgive me, fighting a little bit of a bug here. Dominic Raiola, the missed call, it harkens me back to the days of Don Muhlbach's messed up snap when we were playing the Minnesota Vikings and we lost that game. Between the coaches and the players, I don't care how loud the crowd is, communication is key. I like Schwartz's idea of trying to draw them off sides, but Dominic Raiola, for whatever reason, did not get that signal straight, and so we didn't even get a chance to tie the game. Not saying our defense would have held up, but we don't know. Like I said, this game is a heartbreaker. Very entertaining. It will be on NFL Network and season highlights for years to come. But it just hurts and it sucks when you're on the losing end of it. That's going to do it. Just my 2 cents on the game. We've been talking about it quite a bit. I will be back very shortly. In a couple of days, we'll be talking about the Minnesota Vikings. They're 2-1. They beat the team we couldn't beat. Supposedly the best team in the NFL. Maybe people don't feel that way anymore. The San Francisco 49ers. But they were at home. They will be on the road. We'll be at home facing them. This should be a good matchup. And as always, it's an NFC North bout. So we'll be talking about that in a few days. Leave your comments. What was your expression or reaction when Titus Young caught the Hail Mary pass? I want you to leave that in the comment section. Of course, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe now, okay? Thank you. As always, I want to thank you all for watching. This has been Jerry Mallory for SB Nation and PrideDetroit.com.